Okay, we're in the elevator and we're about to get off where we have our offices, so you can see some of the different office spaces and learn about some of the people that are in those office spaces. So here we go. So this is the second floor. The first space that you enter is actually a conference room area so that you have a place to meet with your clients. And then as we go through, there is a break room so that you can actually have lunch here with your colleagues. And then the first space that we come to is where the scholarship winners have their stuff set up. So basically the scholarship winners can come in here and work out of here anytime. And like I said, we have 6 scholarship winners in this current program. The scholarship winners get this office to use for free whenever they would like to. Some of the scholarship winners have chosen to rent offices at a discounted rent, so we'll see some of their offices next. We have different offices that rent for different amounts, and I'll kind of peek into some of these offices so you can see what they look like. This is what an office would look like that is a $450 a month office. The offices that are inside offices that don't have windows are $450 a month. It's month to month with no lease and no deposit. We don't want to stick somebody with a situation they might not be able to afford. We're here to help people, so they are very affordable, and we are in downtown Tempe, so that's pretty good. All right, here's another one. This is another $450 a month type of office. This is actually our pattern maker's office. Our pattern maker used to be the pattern maker for companies like Athleta and Gap. She is incredibly talented. We attract the most talented professionals when they move here to Arizona because there isn't really another option for them to work. So we get people like Uli, who is one of our pattern makers. Our production manager, Kate, used to work for Forever 21 and Target and Reformation. So we get the people who know what they're doing. It's not just a group of home sewers that created this place. It's actual industry professionals. So you're in good hands. We have some offices that have a little bit more room. Here, I'll show you another $450 a month office so you can get an idea of what the smaller inside offices look like again. This one is a brand that is on our scholarship. They are actually making clothing for tall women who are like hikers, outdoor clothing. And they're filling a need. That's the cool thing about when you start a brand and you come here, is we're going to help you figure out, you got to make sure that you're filling a need. You're doing something that's a niche. You're not just making another clothing brand, because you're not going to be able to compete with all of the oversold clothing brands, the over-manufactured clothing brands. You need to do something that nobody else is doing so you can stand out and actually, attract a different audience. So that's what these guys are doing. There is offices that are a little bit more than $450 a month that are, they have windows. That's what makes them a little bit more. We have an office here for Plum Designs, and the owner of Plum Designs actually used to be a fashion editor for a major magazine, and she's here providing copy for other people's websites and marketing needs as well. And then in this office, we have a designer who is on scholarship here. He was Phoenix Fashion Week's Couture Designer of the Year in 2018. It's Aznov, making really beautiful Native American inspired clothing, couture clothing. Another office that would be a $550 a month office would look like this one. Here we go, let's find the light here. So this is Serving Glamour, and Serving Glamour is another scholarship winner here, making clothing for transgendered women. So the designer Jenny, her wife is transgendered and couldn't find anything to wear that wasn't like bondage and latex related. So she wanted to be able to make her regular everyday clothing that she could be seen out in public in. So again, serving a need, filling a niche. Another brand over here is filling another need. This is Heights Apparel, which is making tall men's apparel, not big and tall because that's already being made. It's tall and thin, basically. So it's tall and slim apparel so that it's a little bit narrower in the specs and for tall guys. So Heights Apparel. And we have a brand here that makes Western shirts. It's actually called Western Skies. And this brand moved here from Los Angeles. So women's Western shirts. Ooh. Make sure I shut that correctly. And then we're gonna check out, oh, and Western Skies is in a corner office. So a corner office is a little bit more. This is it's like a $650 a month office. Here's where we do our sourcing. So this is where if you wanted to hire an expert to source for you instead of doing the sourcing yourself in our free sourcing library, this is where that happens. And then we have a corner office over here for a brand that, there's actually two brands that operate out of this office. It's Haywood and Ringo and Naked Rebellion. Love this story. Basically, they started out as one of our scholarship winners. Let me turn on a light. For their brand Haywood and Ringo, which makes affordable tuxedos. And the owners are husband and wife team. The wife was actually the costume designer for House of Cards and Dancing with the Stars and other shows. And she, in finding resources for suits, her and her husband were able to start this brand Haywood and Ringo so they can start providing affordable tuxedos when people get married. But when they were starting their scholarship program here, when they won their scholarship last year, they came to us with another idea that they had, which when Jessica, who's the designer, went out to try to find underwear to match every shade of skin tone, she saw that it didn't exist, and she wanted to be able to do that. So in their scholarship program, in the 6 months that they were on scholarship, they started Naked Rebellion, which this photo was shot in our photo studio, and all of the clothes that are in that photo were made here. They were designed and developed here. Jessica and Jay learned everything in the scholarship program on how to design and develop and manufacture apparel, and then used all of those resources, had samples and prototypes made here and patterns and everything, and then ended up expanding and growing so big that they kind of grew out of our manufacturing capabilities and are manufacturing in California and making, there it is, the product that they had dreamed about for so long. And so this is filling a big niche. I mean, they're creating underwear and bras that match every skin tone out there, which wasn't really something that they could find on the market. Couldn't believe that was something they couldn't find. You can see these represent all the different colors. So we're really proud to have helped a brand like that here in Arizona be able to start and grow and fill a need like that. And it's awesome watching them succeed. So these are some of the different brands that are here in fabric. There are brands that come here that aren't here in office spaces that just utilize all of our services every day. We've actually helped over 450 different brands that are using all of the services here, all of the design, development, and manufacturing services. They are using the pattern making and the sample sewing and the sourcing and production here. And like I said, we can make almost everything. So the last place I'm going to show you is our VIP room.